Good afternoon, everybody. Sorry I'm a little bit late. I got held up by some important business, but I knew I had to come before you all tonight because we have some very important things happening and it really couldn't wait another day to get the announcement out. Some of you are already aware of it, but let me just preface by saying this. A year ago, I began something called the Stand Against Communism Coalition. It includes people like Trevor Loudon and Jerome Corsi and Claire Lopez and Reverend Rafael Cruz and Alan West. And I wanted to announce to all of you all that we are having on May 1st at 12 noon Eastern Time, from 12 to 2 Eastern Time on Friday, May the 1st, a live stream Stand Against Communism event. And you will be hearing from all of these speakers. There are many, many more people involved with us, but these are the speakers that we will have for you on that particular day, on this particular occasion. We were planning to do rallies around the country on May 1st, but of course, something called the Communist Chinese Wuhan virus intervened, otherwise known as COVID-19 or coronavirus. I prefer the former name to the latter two. But something happened along the way to interfere with that and make that virtually impossible to organize, to get going. We're not quitting or canceling. We are simply postponing. But in the meantime, we're going to do a live stream event. You all know that May 1st is generally considered the big communist holiday. Well, we are taking it back for patriotism, for America, for God. May 1st can be known as Patriotism Day henceforth. And we want to have these speakers come before you and tell you what is going on in our country right now. They're all experts. You can go to our websites, by the way, standamerica.us, standamerica.us. Some of you are probably familiar with that. Or a newer website that we've got called standagainstcommunism.com, standagainstcommunism.com. On both those websites and on our Facebook pages as well, you will see this flyer. And that flyer will give you the information that you're looking for and allow you to sign up. Now, these are some renowned people that we've got speaking. Jerome Corsi has been a prize-winning investigative journalist. And as you know, or you may or may not know, he was one of the people targeted by the Mueller special counsel, whatever you want to call it, commission, abomination. And they tried to strong arm him into pleading guilty for something he didn't do. And Jerome courageously and wisely said, no, I am not confessing or admitting to something I did not do. And of course, the charges ultimately went away because there was no evidence that he had engaged in any wrongdoing whatsoever. Well, he's written a book called How the Democrat Party Became Communist, and done a number of other reports. He's been giving us some very, very insightful information about the way this whole coronavirus thing has been dealt with, and some of the so-called expert information that we're getting, and some of the nefarious connections that we're not aware of when this thing started between some of the players who have so much to say about this, like Bill Gates, for example, and like the reputed Dr. Fauci. So he is outstanding. Reverend Rafael Cruz is going to be another speaker. Reverend Rafael Cruz is the father of Senator Ted Cruz, and Reverend Rafael Cruz is just a tremendous communicator for freedom. This man actually escaped the prison of Fidel Castro. This is not academic for him. This is not some guy who read something in a book and said, oh yeah, that's really, I agree with that. No, he experienced Fidel Castro's treatment of his citizens and what it means for a nation to become communist. And he's often said, if America loses its freedom, there will no longer be a place to escape. You won't be able to escape to anywhere else because America is the bastion of freedom, and we're not going to let that ever change. So Reverend Rafael Cruz will be speaking. Claire Lopez. Claire Lopez was a CIA agent for 20 years, traveled the world, knows all about the infiltration of communism into our country, as well as the dangers, the continuing dangers of radical Islam. She is going to be a speaker. Of course, Lieutenant Colonel retired Alan West, former Congressman Alan West, who has talked about this issue extensively and has made clear that our country is in fact being infiltrated by people who mean us no good. And I don't mean people coming from outside of America. There's some of that too, obviously. But I'm talking about people who are right here in America and are indoctrinated and imbued with Marxist, socialist, and communist ideas instead of with our Constitution. So Colonel Allen West will be speaking as well. I'm sure you all heard about the governor of New Jersey when asked by Tucker Carlson about his violation of the Bill of Rights in the way he was treating his citizens. His answer was, "That's above my pay grade. And no, I didn't think about the Bill of Rights when I was implementing these policies." Well, folks, that's what we're dealing with here. But let me come back to that. Before I do get into that, because I want to get into that issue. But first, let me tell you who the other speaker is. The other speaker is none other than Trevor Loudon. Trevor Loudon is the premier researcher on the issue of the nexus of communism with American politics. He has researched this thoroughly. He is the producer of a movie, Enemies Within. He's got another movie coming out, Enemies Within the Church. He's got a website called KeyWiki that will give you all kinds of information on the connection of many of our politicians today, those on the left, to the Communist Party, to communist and socialist infiltrated or influenced organizations. And folks, we're not talking about wild-eyed, tinfoil hat conspiracy theories. We're talking about facts here, things that are actually going on that every American ought to be alert to. So, and of course, I will be sharing with you some of my thoughts on these things because through the people that I've just named and others, I have become something of a devotee to this subject, shall we say, and have a lot of thoughts about what all of this means. I'm not a researcher, but I certainly want to communicate to you all the sense of alarm that I have about everything that I'm learning. So we're going to have a wonderful time of explaining and expounding to the American people what is really going on in our country. Obviously, this is one of the reasons why Donald J. Trump must be reelected president, because I think he understands this as no other president has, except perhaps Ronald Reagan. And so we're going to be talking about all of these issues. We're going to be talking about Joe Biden and his connections and the things that he has been involved with over the years, his political career. So there's going to be a lot of stuff, folks, a lot of stuff that you will have to process and learn about and verify. But believe me, we're going to open the eyes of anybody who joins in on that live stream event on May 1st, Friday, May 1st, from 12 to 2 Eastern time. Okay. So I want to come back to this issue of the New Jersey governor's remarks about the Bill of Rights being above his pay grade. No, he didn't think about the Bill of Rights when he implemented these policies. Folks, this coronavirus ought to be revealing to us exactly how serious the subject matter is that I'm talking about, because this has become an opportunity for socialists and communists and Marxists and collectivists to carry out their will, to do what they've always wanted to do. Governor Gavin Newsom said that, yes, the coronavirus offers an opportunity to usher in a new progressive era. Jim Clyburn, majority leader of the House under Nancy Pelosi, said that this gives us an opportunity to implement restrictions in keeping with our vision. And many of these politicians on the left have said, we may never have an opportunity like this again. And they are taking full advantage of it. Now, this governor of New Jersey, I don't know what he is or how he got elected with that kind of gross disregard of the Constitution of the United States, which is supposedly what he took an oath to. But he did. But I think it's indicative of all of them. I think it's indicative of Mayor de Blasio in New York when he says, any church or synagogue that dares to meet, we are going to close permanently. As just like his buddy and his hero, Fidel Castro, closed churches permanently in Cuba. I mean, this is unbelievable stuff, folks. It's abominable with governors telling Christians, if you go to church, we're going to go to the parking lot and collect the mayor of Louisville, Kentucky. We're going to collect your license plate numbers and you will be hearing from us. I mean, what is this, a police state? But here again, they're taking full advantage of it. And of course, the reason why the left does not want the economy open is not because they care about the lives of the American people. Believe me, folks, that's not the issue. The issue is this gives them an opportunity to expand the power of government, to extend the level of control that they have over the American populace, to make people more dependent in their quest to turn America into a nation of slaves. Because, folks, socialism is communism, and communism is slavery. So what they're really trying to do is enslave the American people. That's why they don't talk about freedom. That's why they don't talk about liberty. That's why the governor of New Jersey says, oh, that's above my pay grade, because they don't really care about the Bill of Rights. They don't care about the liberty of the American people. They care about power and the ability to control everything and everybody. Now, look, I want to say something to you that is vitally important right now, and I want you to understand this well. When we first started out, the group that I'd assembled had a debate about, do we call this stand against socialism? Do we call it stand against communism, stand against Marxism, stand against collectivism? And the reason why we ultimately settled on communism is this, because we wanted people to understand that all of these other euphemisms, progressivism, collectivism, even socialism now, all end in the same place, communism. And we wanted to make that point, and we wanted to make it clearly and starkly. Now, the risk, of course, that you run in doing that is that people say, well, communism, I mean, when the Soviet Union collapsed, that was kind of the end of communism. No, folks, it was not. It was not. There's still a big, bad behemoth of a communist nation called the People's Republic of China. They're not a republic, and they don't belong, it doesn't belong to the people. It belongs to the Communist Party, and they control it completely and thoroughly. And the fact that they've allowed some free market principles to help get people out of poverty hasn't changed a thing. They are still a totalitarian state. They are a communist dictatorship. And you let one of these people who has become a billionaire or a millionaire or started a big company, you let them get out of line and see what happens. They disappear, or they are arrested and tried, often put away forever, or even executed. There are people in China who have disappeared around this whole coronavirus issue and have never reappeared again. But the thing I want to say to you that's so important for understanding what we are doing is this. This is not the Joe McCarthy era. This is not the era in which we're looking for people, we're outing people who are walking around with a membership card to the Communist Party, or even think of themselves as communist. We're talking about a disease that is running rampant among many of our elites, in which they have rejected Jeffersonian freedom and embraced Marxian totalitarianism or Marxist totalitarianism. They think they're onto something good. Stalin called them useful idiots. And we're dealing with a lot of useful idiots. Now, some of those people are not so idiotic. They know exactly what they're doing, but many of the people that they're using are being manipulated and don't even know it. They don't understand that they're undermining the Constitution of the United States. I mean, how long do we go, folks, in this coronavirus situation without anybody except the President of the United States, the only one I recall, raising the issue of the Constitution? I mean, think about that. I've been raising it for a long, long time, but I've been a voice crying in the wilderness for the most part. You don't even hear the pundits on television even now. Now that there are protests happening across the country, you do have some people saying, oh, well, wait a minute. You've overstepped your constitutional bounds. Is that constitutional? But for the last couple of months of this, nobody was raising that issue. People took it for granted that a mayor or a governor had the right to order the American people to do something. Well, they don't. There's no inherent right in a governor or a mayor to order you or me as citizens to do anything. The only way that they can do something like that, assuming that they do it within the bounds of the Constitution, is to go back to the legislature, ask for that authority, have that thoroughly debated, have it passed in the legislature, signed by a governor, and then subject, of course, still to challenge by the people. But we don't have that. We've had people stand up and just give edicts as if they were kings or queens, as the governor of Michigan thinks she can do, and then ridicule the people who say, well, wait a minute, you've overstepped your bounds. You know, most of these politicians today, folks, particularly on the left, haven't even read the Constitution. They don't know that the preamble begins with "we the people," not "we the politicians." So they probably haven't even read it, in part because they don't like it. It's in their way, in the same way that the church is in their way. And so you undermine it, you attack it, you ridicule it, you debunk it, you render it irrelevant. As one person commenting on one of my Facebook Live presentations said, oh, you can't let a 200-year-old antiquated document get in the way of saving lives. Well, let's face it. If they were really interested in saving lives, they'd be closing down all these abortion mills that are killing babies every single day. They're not interested in saving lives. They're interested in accumulating power. And so the people that I've got coming before you, they understand this thoroughly, and they've done extensive research. They have extensive information that they're going to be able to share with you so that you get the full impact. Now, let me tell you, we're going to be asking you for action. So let me begin now to say, if you are the head of an organization or an organized group, if you got a website, you want to show this live stream event on your website, all you got to do, go to our website, sign up to be a partner with us. Doesn't cost you anything. We're not asking you for any money. Sign up and be a partner with us, and we will give you a link to show this on your website, okay? So that you can use it to attract your followers and your people so that they can get this information and they can get it through you. So if you run an organization, you've got a website, you want to show it on your website, get in touch with us. We've got somebody working with us who will help you to get ready for that. If you're not now ready for it, if your website can't handle that, just let us know. We've got somebody ready to help you to get your website ready so it can handle the live stream. So that's number one. For those of you who don't necessarily run organizations, maybe you're part of an organization, you can do the same thing. But if you don't necessarily run an organization, what we want you to do is just help us get the word out. Share this video here with everybody you know. Go to our website, share that with everybody you know. Share the link, put the link out there. Tell people May 1st, 12 noon Eastern time. Great mainstream, a live stream event entitled Stand Against Socialism, Communism. It's going to be put on by the Stand Against Socialism, Communism Coalition. I'm the chairman of that effort, and people can get that information. You share it with them. They can go to our website, standamerica.us, standagainstcommunism.com, and they can sign up themselves. But we need you all to get this out. Our goal is for 1 million people to see this. And we know probably 1 million people won't be seeing it when it first airs. But our goal is ultimately that 1 million people see this, 1 million people. And we know that we can't do that on our own, but with your help, we can. So that's number one. Now, number two, folks, we've got something very, very exciting that we're going to make a part of the program. And that is, we have a citizens pledge to stand for America. Okay, a citizens pledge to stand for America. You know what? It fell off my desk. Just hold on. Let me grab it. This is real. This is real live television, folks. That's it. You can't see it there, but you can go to our website. It will be on the website if it's not there already. Or you can email me, ewj@standamerica.us, ewj@standamerica.us, and we will be happy to share it with you, to get you a copy of it. We're going to be asking every citizen to sign this pledge. And here's what it says. Oops, that's the candidate's pledge. Hold on. Okay. I'm my own producer. Here's the Citizens Pledge to Stand for America. The Citizens Pledge to Stand for America. And here's what it says. In honor of our founding fathers and every patriot who has endured hardship, shed blood, and sacrificed life and limb for American liberty, I pledge, if I have to be the last person standing up for our Constitution, the last person standing up for our Judeo-Christian values, and the last person standing up for our flag, I will never give in. I will never give up. I will never back down. I will never allow my beloved country to become a Marxist, socialist, communist nation. I will stand up for America as one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I will support and vote for candidates whose principles uphold these values. To this I pledge my life, my fortune, and my sacred honor until my final breath. We're going to be asking every patriot in America to sign this pledge, And I've got something else for you too, folks. We're going to have a citizen's oath to the Constitution of the United States. You know, it's been on my heart for years, really, because we who are born here don't have to take an oath to the Constitution. It's just presumed. But any naturalized citizen does. We who have been in the military, we do. And law enforcement does. But the average citizen does not. I believe most citizens would love to take an oath to the Constitution of the United States. And we're going to present that oath in this live stream event and give you an opportunity to take that oath with me. So it's going to be a very, very exciting event, folks. And we'll have that ready for you shortly. It is right now in the works. Of course, it will be borrowed from the military oath that everybody takes, but it will have a little bit of a preamble to it. So it will be a little bit different. But I'm very, very excited about that. And here's the last thing. We're going to be asking all of you to share. In fact, you can go to our website and get this too and share. We're going to be asking every single candidate in the United States of America, Republican, Democrat, or anything else they choose to call themselves, to sign a candidate's pledge to stand against communism. A candidate's pledge to stand against communism. And here's how this one reads. It says, I'm not running for office. And by the way, those of you who think I'm running for something, I'm not. I get these, postcards, to get our endorsement, sign up for this. Well, I don't need an endorsement because I'm not running for anything. Okay, not right now, nor do I have any plans for the foreseeable future to seek office here in Virginia. So this is about candidates who are seeking office actually here in Virginia or anywhere else. It says I, and the person's name, candidate for whatever the office is in, whatever the state is in, hereby pledge to oppose Marxism, socialism, and communism as totalitarian ideologies incompatible with our American Constitution, inconsistent with the unalienable rights given to us by our Creator, and irreconcilable with our Judeo-Christian culture, values, and faith in God. I denounce the Communist Party USA, Democratic Socialists of America, and all promoters of Marxist and totalitarian ideologies and policies because they are subversive to our constitutional republic. Now, folks, if you are supporting a candidate, and I'm supporting some myself, this was not ready when I endorsed them, but any candidate that I endorse from this point forward is going to have to sign this pledge. And I hope that you will do the same, because any candidate who can't sign a pledge denouncing communism is not worthy of our support. That's a no-brainer, right? I mean, that is a no-brainer. You can't call that racist. You can't call that homophobic. You can't call that transphobic or whatever other phobic you want to come. I guess you could call it commie-phobic. But what would be the objection to anybody signing that pledge? Well, there is none. So, folks, we're going to be talking about all of this at the on the live stream event. That's, again, Friday, May 1st, 12 noon Eastern time. And we want you to partner with us. Just go to our website, standamerica.us or standagainstcommunism.com. Go to the website, sign up as a partner. If you have an organization, you want to show it on your website, or if you just want to partner with us, just join with us, I should say, and just help us to get the word out. Sign up there as well, and we will get you the information that you need. Folks, that pledge I read you know where it comes from. The first pledge, the Citizen Pledge, It comes from a speech that I gave many years ago, and it became part of many, many speeches that I've given because it expressed my heart, my love for this country, and my absolute determination never to see us lose our freedom in the United States of America. And then it hit me one time, because people, when I would say it, people would often come up to me afterwards and say, EW, I'm with you. I'm with you. If I have to be the last one standing, I'm with you. And then it hit me, this is something that I think a lot of people would really enjoy signing on to. And so we worked it and edited it and produced it as a pledge for all of us. But folks, I mean this with all my heart, that we are not going to bequeath to our children some sort of totalitarian, Marxist, socialist, communist nation. We're going to bequeath to our children a nation of liberty. And we're going to do whatever it takes to make sure that that's the case. Ronald Reagan said, freedom is never more than one generation from extinction. We do not pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for and protected and passed on to them to do the same, or we will spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children about the United States of America, where men were once free. And that's never going to be the legacy we leave. So, folks, I'm convinced of this, in the words of Abraham Lincoln, that this nation shall have a new birth of freedom, that government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall not perish from the earth. God bless each and every one of you. Again, May 1st, 12 noon Eastern Time, live streamed, all of the great speakers that I've talked to you about and more. And so I hope to see you then. God bless.